Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel, the one and only Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am your tarot reader, Stephanie, and today's reading is about what you are healing from and what doors, what paths will this open for you. We have 4 piles here for you today. But before we move forward, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor for this video, Psychic Source. Psychic Source lets you connect with professional gifted advisors in whichever way you feel the most comfortable, whether that's through phone call, video chat, or through texting. They are one of the oldest and most trusted psychic services in the industry with over 35 years of experience. By using my link below, you can connect with one or multiple advisors for up to 40 minutes for just $19.80. That's up to a $240 value. Their advisors are committed to hope, healing, and empowerment, and to give you clarity on any question you may have. By using my link below, you can connect with one or multiple advisors for up to 40 minutes for just $19.80. That's up to a $240 value. 40 minutes will allow you to talk to multiple advisors, and you don't have to use all the minutes in one session. This can help you find your best connection and give you the most amount of clarity. So try Psychic Source by clicking the link below in the description. We have 4 piles. Pile 1, we have the black moonstone. Pile 2, we have the smoky quartz heart. Pile 3, we have this amethyst point. Pile 4, we have a selenite heart. So take a few deep breaths, think about all the healing you've done, and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the black moonstone, then we have your reading here for you about what you are going to be healing from either soon or that you have already healed from. This is especially for those of you who have been coming out of either a dark night of the soul or a difficult situation or something where things just haven't seemed to be going your way. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to have too much negative talk here, but we are talking about what you are healing from. So consider this a trigger warning that we may be talking about subjects or situations that you may not want to hear about. So if that's the case, I suggest you choose another reading. But we are going to see what the situation is with the oracles, and then we're going to get more into it with the tarot to see what it is that you're meant to take away from this. So pile 1, we have fairy, number 29. I was kind of getting this for this pile where you tend to have like a very light, bright, kind of beautiful energy, like you don't like to talk about negative things. So for some of you, you could have been keeping this a secret from a lot of people. Like maybe people would not assume that you were going through the things that you were going through just by looking at you. Or you could be somebody who's typically very upbeat and positive. But when it comes to whatever it is that you've been going through, you've been keeping it secret. Because with fairies, I think of, I don't know why I'm getting secrecy. I don't know why I'm getting like being in the shadows, in the woods. I grew up reading fairy-based young adult fiction, and anytime I think of that kind of vibe, I think of like, you know, whispers in the forest or something like that. Think Holly Black and all that. I do want to read what the booklet has to say about this card though, because I am new to this oracle deck. Beautiful oracle deck, by the way, the Mystic Misfits deck. So for my pile 1, the fairy embodies whimsy and faith, spirituality, feminine energy, childhood, and beauty. Yeah, I was getting very strong feminine energy here, regardless of your gender, but also like that childlike wonder. Think Tinkerbell or something along those lines. But let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. We have Flow. We have Lihan, Devotion. We have this card, which has no words, but there's this person kind of playing with rocks out here and this colorful world back here that they're kind of ignoring. This is very much you doing your own thing. I think for a lot of you, you come from a background where even as a child, you disassociated really strongly. So maybe there was a lot of chaos in your childhood or growing up, but you would always find a way to distract yourself, whether that was through playing with your toys or immersing yourself in video games, just kind of learning how to be on your own and learning how to distract yourself from the world around you. Definitely a coping mechanism as well as a survival tactic for a lot of you. And I feel like this has kind of followed you into adulthood especially. Maybe that's why the number 29 is important here. I am getting that you may still do this, maybe even to a fault to this day. So I don't know if people have explained this to you or if you're aware of this and you've been trying to to break that pattern. We have staff and verdandi. And then we have serpent of fire, priestess of the serpent sisterhood. Whenever I think of a snake like this, I think of how a snake sheds its skin. I'm also thinking of the Ace of Wands with the both of these, and Wands energy in general in the tarot, which is very fiery energy, very action-based energy. So you're typically one to, I mean, maybe not always, I guess it depends on the situation, but you may busy yourself with a lot of things in order to distract from the things that you actually have to focus on, or to, again, escape. You escape by doing. We also have ancient power mysteries. Hear the rattle of Isis playing. Maybe some of you are musicians and you kind of escape through music, or even just listening to music. I'm thinking of somebody who like puts on the headphones and blasts the music in order to like ignore everything else that they have to hear. Again, disassociation is what we're talking about here. But for a lot of you, I do feel like you're overcoming something because you're understanding that the things that are being shown before you are not just meant to bog you down. You're meant to overcome them, and you're meant to learn from them. So let me read from the book for the staff and verdandi here, because this is a rune oracle, but neither of those are runes, oddly enough. So from the book for the staff, magical connection, journeying world tree. Amongst the Norse ancients, women were primarily the practitioners of magic. They were called vulvas and practice seer, a type of Nordic shamanism. Vulva translates to staff carrier or wand carrier. The staff was absolutely critical to vulva's work as it represented the world tree. I really hope I don't get blocked for saying that word, because it's Volva, and it's the O with the little dots on top, and I don't know how to pronounce that. Nor does this give me a thing to pronounce it. So hopefully it doesn't think I'm saying the other word that it sounds like. This card is a reminder of your power and abilities. How can you show up for them more? So for a lot of you, this is you just taking initiative of what it is that you have to do. This is definitely taking accountability over the things around you, even if it's not your own creation, let's put it that way. It's like you're taking accountability for, at the very least, the environment that you surround yourself in. If you go to my October 2025 predictions, for those of you who are watching this as close to when I post this, there is a pile that had a very similar energy, and I don't know if this is the same person, and it's weird. Like, you could be the same group from that pile, because I'm getting something very similar where, like, typically this is essentially the energy of, like, I don't want to say growing up, because I don't, I'm not saying that you were immature before, but it's more like you're stepping up to be there for yourself or for others. You're stepping up. It's like, it feels like growing up essentially. But again, I'm not talking about you being immature before, or that you weren't already a grown up, of course. It's more like you're finally stepping up to the plate. It's just stepping up, whatever this is. It's you taking accountability for the things around you. It's like, okay, I think it's time for me to take control of something and get on with my life, is what I'm hearing. And again, I don't think there was anything wrong with what you were doing before. It was all a coping mechanism. But at some point, the cycle has to break. The habits have to break. And I think I'm very proud of you, Pile. One, because this is not an easy thing to do, to understand that maybe some of the habits you were creating within yourself, you thought maybe were just hobbies or things that you did. But in truth, it was a form of escapism. And I think it takes a very strong person to understand that and to even change or adjust their ways. Let me read for Verdandi. Becoming. Our thoughts shape the present. The present, what is happening, the current moment, thoughts. Yes, absolutely. This is about the present moment. This is about being in the now. This isn't about escaping what you're currently feeling. This isn't about living in the past. And it's not even about worrying about the future. This is about being in the present moment. It's like, what needs my attention now? What do I need to focus on this very moment? And I feel like your spirit guides are here to remind you that you can do it. Like, yes, it can be difficult to pay attention to whatever is currently going on, but that's just what we're here for. Whenever I had my first spiritual awakening. I had to go through a deep healing. So I'm not surprised that this is coming through here. And after that deep healing, I had to release like a lot of bad energy. And after, it was a session that I had, like a Reiki session. And after that session, well, one, I had to like sit for a good 30 minutes to calm myself, because I'd never had experienced that much energy go through my body. And two, I played a song. It's a song in Spanish by Julieta Venegas, El Presente. The song literally just goes, the present is all I can give you. The present is all we have. It was the first song I played after that. And it's about being in the present moment. A lot of what healing is about, at least for you, and in this case, pile 1, is about being in the now. Like, what are you feeling right now? How are you? Like, don't worry about the past, don't worry about the future. And I think a lot of us that come to tarot readings do tend to freak out about the future. That's why we want our cards read. Or we freak out about the past. Like, how is our past going to affect us now? That's why we come here. But one thing about healing, it's about focusing on what's happening right now. Like, you know, take in your surroundings, take in this moment. And how are you feeling? And I feel like that's what this healing journey is doing for you. It's allowing you to live in the moment and to truly enjoy and submerge yourself in the moment. Like, it's not just about, and without numbing yourself. I'm getting the energy for some of you of somebody who's like recovering from a bad habit. And maybe this is what it feels like, you know, not being under the influence of something, just really taking in what is in front of you, what is around you, what do you hear, what's going on around you. And I think a lot of you would be surprised to take in the beauty of all the things that maybe you hadn't noticed before. Maybe for the first time you're noticing something that's always been, for example, in your town, in your neighborhood, but you've never stopped to look at it, like literally stopped to smell the roses. And it's like, wow, I didn't know that was here. Which is really interesting. But this is what I have for the oracles. Let's go ahead and move on to the tarot. I feel like I could keep going on and on, but for a lot of you, I think it's the first time, or at least the first time in a long time, that you've been able to sit with your own thoughts. And that's how you will know that you fully healed, because you can finally hear your own voice. Not the voice of someone from the past, not the voice of somebody you would like to hear from, but your own voice, your own thoughts, your own observations. So what are we healing from? And how is it going to impact my beautiful pile 1? We have the 3 of Cups. For a lot of you, it was the environment. It was the people around you. People that I don't think were the best for you. This could be neighbors, coworkers, maybe friends, unfortunately, for some of you, or family that were just not the best for you. We have the Knight of Swords, which also makes me think of like, if you either come from a family that does this, or if you're surrounded by people who are like this, who like to gossip, who like to talk trash, or every time they get together, all they do is complain. I feel like you've let this go because you've understood that this energy is draining. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with venting every now and then. But if that's all you and your friends do, I feel like there has to be better things to talk about. You know, there have to be more positive things. I make it a point to have at least several positive conversations in my day, so I'm not just complaining all the time. And I think some people have kind of gotten used to that being the norm when it really shouldn't be, you know? So for a lot of you, it's releasing toxic conversation. If not toxic people, toxic conversation. You have the Queen of Wands. And a lot of you, there's been a glow up. I don't know what you've been doing differently, but you're definitely looking different. In a positive way, because you look more appealing, you look more bright, more vibrant, more attractive. We have the 5 of Cups reversed, which is a great card to have reversed. This is you looking on the bright side, you understanding that maybe that life is short, therefore you want to make the most of it, or that, again, living in the present moment is much more worth it than living in the past. 3 of Swords, definitely overcoming some sort of disappointment, maybe a heartbreak. But this is kind of like, why did I just hear No One Mourns the Wicked from the musical Wicked? No, I'm not saying that that's the situation, but it's kind of like You allow yourself to mourn, but you don't allow yourself to wallow in the heartbreak. There's a difference between mourning a situation and wallowing it. Like if you want to take a week to feel upset about breaking up with somebody, that's one thing. If it takes you years to get over that person, that's a whole different thing. Like, you know, there's just levels of mourning, and yes, you can mourn how you want respectfully, but at the same time, I think one is healthier than the other. And I think a lot of you are taking that into consideration. It's like there's a time limit as to how much negativity you can take. Maybe you're actively doing this as well, because like I said, I make it a point to have positive conversations as opposed to negative, or at least keep my positive more than the negative, like make sure my positivity count is higher than my negativity. And maybe some of you are doing the same. How will this impact you? Other than this glow up that is coming through. We have the sun. Definitely bring a boost in your confidence. A confidence that I think you're not going to be used to. Like it's going to be hard for you to put yourself out there and feel proud of yourself. But understand that just because you're not used to something yet doesn't mean that it's not meant for you. It takes a little breaking into. We have the Chariot. You're going to start moving more quickly into the positions, roles, and timelines that you're meant to be in. King of Cups. Honestly, this could bring in love for some of you if you're looking for it. If not, it's definitely, well, it's still bringing in love, but it could be platonic or romantic, however you want to see it. Love of friends, love of people who want to adore you, or even a romantic partner for those of you who have been wanting one. Eight of Wands. And I've said this before. To me, divine timing is quick. To me, divine timing is kind of like, I'm thinking of a tower moment where things just come in a flash. So for a lot of you, you could see like what's it called? Like time will start going faster because it's becoming more fun. Time is going in a wonderful, much more quicker pace, especially for those of you who have been a little bit stuck or stagnant. Just know that timing is like things are going to pick up speed somehow. There it is. There's the tower moment. Didn't I just talk about it? And underneath that, King of Swords, Knight of Wands. I do think that this healing will open up another portal to heal specifically things I'm seeing from your childhood, because the King of Cups can also be father energy. But still, this is kind of like the biggest healing you've done in a while. So it's positively impacting you, and that things will finally get moving. I'm thinking of the song from, is it Tangled? When Will My Life Begin? I'm getting a little bit of that. You know, she gets out of that tower and she has a whole adventure, and before you know it, she's reclaimed her place as a princess. So I'm getting something along those lines, where things just, they get better for you. And it may feel like it's going by fast, but only because it's so much fun and because you don't want it to end. But this is what I have for you, pile one. Let's get some closing cards for my pile one. Integrity. I align with the center of myself, a glowing core of personal integrity. Emanating from this core is the knowledge that I never have to compromise who I am or what I want for anybody. I can live a life that doesn't include settling, unless I want to settle, in which case, settling would be my idea of perfection and would cease to be considered settling. Ugh, paradoxes hurt. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you are stepping into a little bit more integrity. Again, not saying that you didn't have integrity before, but I feel like you're finding a new version of it, or stepping more into it somehow, whichever makes more sense here. But this is where I leave it, my beautiful pile one. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile two. If you chose the smoky quartz heart, then we have a reading here for you about what you are healing from. So I did leave a little bit of a trigger warning at the beginning of the reading to let you know that we might be talking about sensitive subject matter. So come to this reading with either an open mind, open heart, or maybe just come back at another time. But we are talking about what you are healing from and what that will open up for you. What is this bringing in, as well as what lesson you may have learned. So we're going to start with the oracles to get a view of this, and then we're going to go into the tarot. And I do apologize for the background noise. The county decided to do some sort of stuff in front of my house, this week, so I've had I think this is the least noisiest of the days so far. We have Rose, number 21, Rose. With Rose, I do think of protection, because I think of every rose has its thorns. So there's something here about the beauty you've accumulated, but also what it takes to protect that, what it takes to, for example, how much it takes to protect your energy. And people may say there's a glow about you, but what they don't know is all the work you've done to have that glow within you. Or it could even be more non-spiritually related, like maybe there's something about your actual beauty. Maybe you've gone through a glow up, but people don't see all the hard work and effort you've put into taking care of your body, taking care of your skin, taking care of your hair, etc. We have abundance. Infinite freedom of thoughts is your foundation. Infinite freedom of thoughts is your foundation. We have Natali, renewal. Yeah, I do feel for a lot of you there is a little bit of it's a glow up of the inner self. Because I wanted to say it was the outer self, but it's the inner self. And anytime there's a glow up within ourselves, we start looking different on the outside. We have Nautis. And then we have the dark mysteries, enter the chamber of the dark goddess. And rising sign, the divine solar child reborn. Interesting that we have two cards of renewal here. So some of you, you're healing from something, but I don't think that's the biggest... What you're healing from is actually not something that people would consider being healed from. Because I'm seeing you let go of certain thoughts here with the infinite freedom of thought. And because you let go of a certain mindset, because you've let go of a certain way of thinking, you've healed from the way you process things in life. You've healed from the way you even act in life. Because you know how our thoughts control our actions? You've let go of certain thoughts. Therefore, your actions are more in alignment with what you want and more in alignment with being the best version of yourself. And as a result, you become somebody different because you've let go of a certain mentality, because you've let go of a certain way of thinking. For some of you, this could be learning how to manage things like anxiety or depression if you suffer from those already. Even if the thoughts you have are more leaning towards that, it's like you've let go of the thoughts that have too much either negative energy on them, and you've learned to see things in a different way, or you will learn to see things in a different way. And again, that changes your course of action. You change the thought and then the action appears. For a lot of you though, and I think this is the main thing, what this requires of you is to kind of go into your shadow side or your dark side. And that's not meant to mean that you're going into your evil side or anything like that. It doesn't even have to be a villain era, though for some of you, setting boundaries might feel like going into your villain era. Because this is you not putting up with things that you know that you're not meant to put up with. Oh my gosh, it was hard for me to say that. Letting me know that some of you are having trouble with that. So for a lot of you, setting boundaries means you're not taking on other people's baggage. You're not taking on the responsibilities of some other adult who should have those same responsibilities. And I'm not talking about, if you want to help somebody, that's one thing. But if they expect you to do a lot for them, if they expect you to take on their own responsibilities, that's something else entirely. That's just an example, and take that if it resonates. But for a lot of you, you've taken on far too much from somebody that really has to look after themselves. And it's no surprise, because I'm kind of getting like an anxious feeling here on top of it's like right between the throat and the heart. So I guess the heart chakra mostly, but also the throat. So for a lot of you, if you have, for example, family, loved ones, friends that you feel you take on far too much of their baggage, I think what you're healing from is being their crutch. Because let's face it, when we take on too much of somebody, we essentially become their crutch, because they're meant to learn how to handle it, how to deal with it, and how to look after themselves. And that's not to say that you won't be there for them when they need you. But for a lot of you, you've been weighed down by energy that is not your own. Therefore, you've had to set your boundaries. For a lot of you, you're in various stages of this. Maybe you have just started this. Maybe you're in the middle of it. Or maybe you've already dealt with. And what this is doing when when you take away somebody's, when you let go of baggage that is not yours, you look different. You start to look lighter. I've literally seen this within, friends of mine who, for in their example, you know, they've had to cut off people romantically because they were just asking and draining too much of them. And, you know, once they cut that off, they started looking 10 years younger. I'm like, wow, did you lose, you know, did you gain muscle, lose weight, whatever? Because they started looking different. They're like, oh no, I just broke up with this person a few weeks ago and now I'm doing this. And it's a noticeable difference when you let go of things that are not meant for you, including a negative spiral of thinking. And I'm not saying it's easy, but what I am saying is that it's part of your emotional growth, emotional development here. And it does make you feel like a new person. For a lot of you, this could have been blocking your abundance. And abundance doesn't just have to be, mean money. It could also be whatever it is that you need, opportunities, a car, a home. For some people, it could be an abundance of friends. Maybe one particular person was preventing you from making new friends. And for some of you, it could even be just the abundance of thought, the abundance of positive thought. Like maybe it was hard for you to find the positive in things when all you were being bogged down by was all this, whatever the negativity from before was. Infinite freedom of thought is your foundation. I really do love this card. The number 5 could be important, as can 21. Maybe May 21st is an important date. What else is coming through here? I really do love this energy though, because for a lot of you, it's like seeing the light after not noticing that you've been in the dark for a long time. And it can be blinding. Maybe it takes some time to get accustomed to that way of living. But I do feel like it's going to be exhilaratingly freeing. For a lot of you, it's a lot of freedom that comes with this. So let's get your cards. And I apologize if this format is a little bit different. It's been at least a week since I started this reading, again, because of the construction in the back. So, and because a lot of stuff's been happening here at Hazel Lucia Tarot, the one and only channel that I have of tarot. Okay, pile 2. Okay, this one jumped out. 9 of Cups, I love this. And 9 of Wands and 9 of Cups. Okay, one thing. A lot of you have been resisting all the blessings that are coming into your life, again, because of this particular way of thinking that you had previously. And it doesn't even have to be negative, because I know plenty of negative people who manifest a lot, like a lot of abundance, but their mindset is just crazy. But for you, it's kind of like you've been resisting a lot of your own blessings, because your blessings are trying to come in and you're like, oh no, not little old me. I know I want this, but I don't deserve this. So I'm getting a little bit of that. And what you're healing from is the resistance to your own blessings, the resistance to your own goodness here. The resistance to your own wishes that you yourself have asked for. Yeah, 8 of Cups. It's like as soon as they come a knocking, you're like, oh no, this can't be for me. It's like, but you asked for it. Of course it's for you. Could you, and of course I hope this isn't coming off as me mocking you. I'm not pile 2. I'm just saying you deserve amazing things. So I hope you understand what it looks like from the outside in when you resist your own blessings. Let's say you order some, I don't know, something on your preferred, what's it called? Like Uber Eats or something. I don't know. Like you order something, something delicious because you're hungry or because you want it. You don't even have to be hungry. You could just be craving something. You order it and it comes knocking at your door and you're like, oh, wow, that looks really, really good. But no, I don't deserve it. I need to eat something else or something. Like, I don't know. It's like it comes knocking at your door and you say no. And the Uber Eats person is just there sitting, you know, all awkward. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just leave it out here. And then your blessing, your food, your whatever is just sitting there waiting for the raccoons to come and eat it, waiting for the stray cats to come and paw at it. You know, when it's meant for you, that's just what it looks like from the outside looking in. And I feel like you deserve to open that door and get your delivery. You have the Hangman. Again, the shift in perspective is the biggest thing here. The way you're viewing your own manifestation and your blessings and how you're meant to receive them and how it's meant to better you, that's the biggest thing. I'm going to see exactly how you're changing your perspective. Let's get one more card. Death, yeah. the end of an era because you are going through a renewal. Once the mindset shifts, like your life shifts. So I want to see specifically what it is that you are shifting perspective in. And this will be different for everybody. So you can take this if it resonates. If not, take the bits and pieces that do. Ace of Swords, new ideas, Page of Pentacles. I have... Okay, so you're developing this habit that when some negative thought comes in, you blast it away. Because I mean, literally look at these two. Because here's the Four of Cups about to think some down, some what am I trying to say? Some sad stuff. Not saying that thinking of sad stuff every now and then isn't okay, but you know, when you make it a habit and it becomes too much, here comes this Knight of Wands to like bash him over the head. It's like, hey, no, we don't have time to be sad. We got stuff to do. We don't have time to be sad. We got beautiful things to have our attention. So I do feel a lot of you are doing as opposed to, I mean, I don't want to say thinking. Let me get a few more cards. And I'm trying to provide a personal example, but okay, let's see. Yeah, Six of Wands. So a lot of you are going to find success in a new habit that is allowing you to think more positively. And Temperance, which is the healing card, so I'm not surprised. So for example, when I found out about binaural beats online, I thought it was the greatest thing because first of all, they're free. Like you could just go on YouTube and look them up, or even like investing in them, like they don't cost much. I've bought a few that were only like, I don't know, maybe $5 for like 3 hours, a 3-hour long recording that I would listen to at night. This is before I started streaming more regularly. This was like a few years ago. But binaural beats really do help because you're basically listening to a frequency that activates a certain feeling or mood within you. And you can go based off the chakras, or you can go based off whatever that frequency ignites within you. So I made it a habit to listen to these, you know, when I'm doing stuff as background noise, or maybe at night when I'm feeling a certain way. Or even when I'm just hanging out, like I always have them just playing. And the way it's affected my mood, especially when I'm about to do something that I know puts me in a bad mood, I listen to them and it makes me feel better. You know, like right before I go to do something I don't like, I'll listen to the happiness or like one of those oxytocin binaural beats, and it literally lifts my mood. And people have even noticed. It's like, you look happier. I'm like, oh, thank you. I think it's partially that and partially other stuff that I do, but it does add and it does benefit. And the people who I've kind of turned on to it have also agreed, especially my audiophiles, because you know, some people are very sensitive to the sounds around them. And if all you have to hear, maybe, oh, you know what, that makes perfect sense because we have construction in the background in this particular pile. If you're very sensitive to the things you hear, put on stuff that you like to hear, or put on stuff that'll make you feel good, make you feel happy. Another example, I used to listen to a lot of metal, and metal mostly is, you know, not about the brightest, happiest subject. I still listen to it every now and then if I'm in a particular mood. Like if I have anger that I need to release, I'll listen to it. But I can't listen to it every day, unfortunately, even though I love it. Now I have to listen to music that is more upbeat. So for me, it's a lot more salsa. It's a lot more dance music, because at least it gets me dancing. And when I get to moving, I feel better. For a lot of you, I do feel like you might become a little bit more physically active. And physical activity does add to our body's joy in a way. Or at least that's how I've always seen it. That's my perspective. Queen of Wands reversed. And for a lot of you, someone recently, and whatever they told you is such BS. They've tried to get you off your throne. Look at this story this one's saying. We got the Page of Wands, we have the Seven of Swords, which is basically shady communication, either a lie or some sort of, even if it's a truth they're telling, it's like they're telling that truth in a negative way. And of course the sound starts beeping as soon as I start explaining this. Yeah, so somebody has told you something to kind of take you off your throne, or somebody's like been wanting to make you feel less than because they see how good you're looking, how amazing you're being, And sometimes people, out of jealousy, spite, or whatever their problem is, just want to make you feel bad. And I think, especially if you're used to that, especially if you're used to people putting you down or whatever, you're developing a defense mechanism. I know unfortunately, I've had bullies or people who just they'll say things that are just so out of, like, there's no need to be saying certain things, and I just think it's weird. So I've had to develop a habit where I kind of just tell them what's what. It's like, hey, that's not okay to say, or it's cool that you think that, but I'm actually this way. And these have been people I've had to deal with a lot. So I've had to develop a very thick skin and a very big mouth, a very blunt and big mouth, in order to put up with some of the things that I've been told or have had to hear about myself. Unfortunately, this is real Stephanie, not tarot Stephanie, so it's weird that she's coming out here. And some people don't like me for it, and that's okay. They don't have to. What I'm here to protect is myself, my sanity, my beautiful little heart, and my peace of mind. So I feel like I said, a lot of you're developing those thorns that protect the beautiful rose that you are. And what you're healing is this past version of yourself that felt like it couldn't defend itself from a lot of the BS that has had to go around it. You're not putting up with anybody's BS. You're not carrying it for them either. And as a result, you're not going to block your blessings anymore, because somehow those two things are tied in. By defending a lot of BS, well, maybe it's not defending BS. By putting up with a lot of BS, let's put it that way, you're also blocking blessings here. I hope that made sense, because there's a lot going on here. But you're developing a habit where you're no longer indulging in the things that hurt you. So with that said, let's get your closing advice, pile 2. And again, I apologize for the background noise. We have tact. I speak and act with care, remembering that impulse words or a harsh tone can sometimes hurt others. If it feels like I'm walking on eggshells, I'll remind myself that those eggshells might actually be a shop full of china, and I might actually be a bull. Then I'll remind myself to stop mixing metaphors. Yeah, like I said, maybe you're the one having to walk on eggshells. Maybe people are walking on eggshells around you. But regardless, I feel like sometimes what we put up with is that within ourselves. And if you're putting up with something that you never want to become, ask yourself if that's what you want, which I don't know who needed to hear that. Hopefully that didn't come out as harsh as it sounded, but pile 2, I am sending you so much love. You're going to become such a beautiful person once you release this, and I wish you nothing but the best. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, this is the only Hazel Lucia Tarot channel. I do not have a second one. If you see fakers, please report them. And I'll see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the amethyst point, then we have a reading here for you about what you are healing from and where will that lead you, or what opportunities will that bring for you, as well as anything else that you need to learn about this healing process. So right away, my speed of speaking, like I usually talk really fast, and in this one I'm kind of being forced to slow down and really take deep breaths, which is really interesting. Maybe some of you are doing the same. I know I have a habit of speaking fast. I don't know. I think for me it's because I channel information so fast that I need to get it out before like it gets jumbled up in my little human brain. But for a lot of you, I feel like you're learning to slow down, like really slow down and enjoy the pace of life, I guess. We're going to start with the oracles to see the overall view of what it is that you're healing from, and then we're going to get into the tarot. So let's start with your cards. You actually got 2 of them, and it was interesting because I already know what one of them is, because I think she showed up again. Is she? Okay, so you have unicorn. Yeah, number 12, and then ghost. Yeah, number 23, ghost. I think I shuffled it the first time, but I accidentally saw it. So I reshuffled and she popped up again, like she popped up face up. So I just added her to this group. So for a lot of you, you've been, I mean, you could be haunted by a little ghost here and there for those of you who believe in that. But for a lot of you, this is the ghost of your former self coming through, kind of like releasing itself. It's almost like shedding a skin. You know how you see bugs or snakes shed their skin, and then their skin kind of just stays there, and you think it's a bug, and then you touch it, poke it, and you realize it's just the the shell, the outer shell of this creature. I'm getting a lot of that for you. So you could literally be shedding a skin of your personality, of your former self. And with unicorn, you're becoming something much more magical. So let's get the rest of your cards. It's funny that this card is very insistent on being part of your pile 3. We have, yeah, I guess I do stuff, but I don't feel like an actual thing yet. Yeah, I guess I do stuff, but I don't feel like an actual thing yet. Yeah, again, it's like that ghost of you, or like the shell of you. You don't quite feel in your skin yet. And I think that's part of the healing process, is to kind of mold yourself. It's like your spirit, it's molding itself into a new body, which I know feels weird. But what is that saying, that every 7 years our cells regenerate and we're essentially a new person or something like that? So maybe some of you really take that to heart. Or maybe some of you have gone through like a physical glow up or makeover or something where you look very different. So maybe for some of you, you have like a whole new body and a whole new hairdo and a whole new wardrobe. And it's like you're blending in, you're fitting in. We also have Yuki Onna, release. Yeah, just really hitting that home of releasing the ghost past of yourself. Growth, yes, because it's part of your growth. Sunstone, which is actually optical calcite here. And I think there's a reason. I will reread from the book because I read it a while ago. And then we have enter the chamber of healing. Healing in the divine chamber of the Lady Isis. How appropriate for the healing card to pop up in the healing reading. So part of your healing journey, I feel like for a lot of you, this is like one part of it. Just like we have like 7 states of grieving. This would be like one of the states of healing. For a lot of you is getting comfortable in your new skin. Maybe for some of you, your new home or your new environment. But for a lot of you, it's getting used to a new version of you that has like reawakened or regenerated somehow. I'm thinking of Doctor Who. And in the mythos of Doctor Who, the show, the Doctor regenerates every so often. That's why you see so many different actors lead the protagonist. And the Doctor will always look different, but it's the same person, which I personally love. I think that's my favorite aspect of the show, because it's quite genius, really, when you think about it from a narrative perspective. You could keep that show going forever. But for the majority of you, you're getting used to being a new person. That's part of your healing journey. And you may not feel like you're going anywhere with this yet. Maybe you just feel like you're existing, and that's okay. Because you can exist without being expected to do anything or expecting anything of anything or anyone. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is the growth process. But it also kind of feels like stepping into main character energy with this unicorn card. Because it does feel like there's something new about you. Looking brand new and stuff. I have a coworker who tells me that every so often. Looks at me, is like, what are you doing here looking brand new? And I'm like, what do you mean? But it's just this metaphoric way that they have of speaking. Like, I look radiant that day, and maybe I did release something, within the past few days, but there's no way they know that because I don't really share this. Well, I don't share this with everybody that I know. But regardless, let me read for the sunstone for this pile. Which is actually optical or Icelandic calcite, Icelandic spar. I think it's got an actual use. The reason it's called Icelandic is not because it's found, well, it is found in Iceland, but it doesn't grow in Iceland. I say that because I was all over, up and down Iceland this past summer, and I did not find a single optical calcite piece anywhere. Lots of lava, lots of lupines for sure, but I did not find a single piece of optical calcite. That would have been cool to see. From the book, Navigation, New Perspectives, Creativity, and Ingenuity. This card is all about finding new tools to get where you want to go. When we feel limited by the world around us, insisting that there isn't any way we can move forward, Sunstone asks you to get creative. It's possible that there's a tool you've overlooked that could be helpful. It could be something you've heard of over and over again and never paid much attention to. If there's anything that the universe or even like the people and friends around you are pushing you towards and you keep ignoring it or keep thinking, it's not for me, you might want to try that out in this new skin that you are in, pile 3, because I feel like your body's finally made for it. I feel like some people are meant to discover certain things in certain eras of their life. Like, for example, I've done yoga since I was young, but some people don't discover yoga until they're much older because that's when their body will probably benefit from it most and really enjoy it more. Me being, I don't know, I'm just built different. Like, I didn't really enjoy exercising until I got into about, I don't know, my late teens. I became more active as I got older, which is usually the opposite, at least where I live, where, you know, kids are very active, they run everywhere, they take on sports. And then once they hit their 20s, 30s, it's like they become less active. And somehow for me, that's been the opposite. So as a kid, very lazy, didn't do anything. As I got older, more active. So I feel like whatever you're meant to find that has been kind of lingering and following you around, you're finally coming into it, and that's part of the healing process. For a lot of you, I feel like the healing process is guiding you to a lot of new things that you haven't tried before. So if you're wondering why you're feeling a little, it's not disoriented, it's more like hollow, I guess, or you know, after you've gone through a lot and you're just sitting still and you have like no thoughts, no sense of direction, you're just kind of existing. I'm getting that for a lot of you, but it's like you haven't found the thing that calls to you, but it's actually been following you and now you're going to like go for it. So yeah, a lot of you, you're releasing things of the past and you're stepping into something new. Another example is meditation. And I feel like everybody gets suggested to meditate at some point in their life because of its mental benefits, of course. But some people are meant to meditate when they're younger and some people are meant to meditate as they get older. I definitely meditated a lot when I was younger. I wasn't aware that that's what it was. But I like to just sit in silence when I was younger and not really talk to anyone and just kind of do my own thing and vibe. And as I got older, I kind of came out of that state and became more active and animated and involved in my life. But for some of you, it could be the opposite. You're meant to find the things that are meant for you at the right time. That's part of divine timing. So with that said, what else are we talking about here? Growth. Yeah, you're expanding. You're expanding, you're releasing a past version of yourself and you're expanding. So the 23rd of December could be an important day for some of you. That would be on the cusp of Capricorn and Sagittarius, or at least a little past the cusp. I think it's more Capricorn than Sagittarius. Take that as it resonates. So let's get your tarot to see what you are healing from and where it's going to guide you. For this one, it really is more where it's going to guide you because you've already healed. Or maybe there was really nothing that you healed from, pile 3. But here's the thing, we're always changing, we're always evolving. So even if you felt there was really nothing too dramatic or crazy that you needed to heal from, you've still overcome certain things of your past and now you're being guided somewhere. Because I think some of us were always healing from something or another. And then there's people, those lucky people out there who don't really heal so much as they just kind of move past the story and move into something else. For my pile. For my pile 3, we have the King of Cups. For some of you, there could be an emotional reawakening here. Because it's making me think of like a parent who has their first child and it like opens up a part of their heart space that they didn't realize was there. I'm getting a little bit of that. Or even just like a heart chakra reawakening. Which if you've never had one, it's really interesting to feel. Because people will experience different emotions. Basically, it's like unlocking an emotion or a way to process and feel an emotion. Yeah, King of Swords. Yeah, and you're becoming less... It's like you're doing things more based off of how you feel and off of passion rather than based off of logic. So it's like you're able to afford now to do the things that really speak to your soul as opposed to doing things that are logical to do. For example, a career path. Maybe some of you took a career path that made sense when you were younger because you needed to make money and you needed to do this and whatever. But as you've gotten older, your passion lies elsewhere, so you're following that. We have the 10 of Pentacles. And for some of you, if you haven't found your abundance yet, in whatever way that may mean, it could just be that you're actually not in the place, in the career, in the position to find that which is going to bring you long-lasting abundance because you're meant to follow your passion and not so much the logical thing. Does that make sense? Like, ironically, what's going to give you long-lasting abundance isn't something that makes sense here for a lot of you. So if you thought being a doctor would make you a lot of money, I mean, it can, but I don't think it's going to bring you a long-lasting kind of life, as opposed to following something that is more, that you're more passionate about. And I'm not here to say what that is, nor am I here to say that if you're a doctor, you're not meant to be a doctor. That's not what I'm saying. It's just an example. But, you know, to a lot of people, the career path of being a medical professional makes a lot of sense because it's in need and it pays well and you're doing good for the world. However, I don't think everybody's built for it. And maybe some of you just took it because your parents told you you should. So pile, and again, that's just an example. Same thing with teachers. There's a lot of teachers out there, a lot of professors who they take the job because it makes sense, it's in demand, and depending on where you live in the world, it actually may pay decently. But, you know, there's a lot of people who don't like children or don't like to teach people or just are not great at communicating. I say that because I've been on both sides of that, you know. Okay, Knight of Swords. You need something where you're able to express yourself more honestly. Because whatever you're in right now, or whatever you left behind, for some of you, if you're past that already, it hindered your growth because you weren't able to be honest with yourself about what you liked or what you were into. Anything that silences you is not meant for you here, pile 3. Okay, we have, yeah, Ace of Swords, Ten of Swords, both reversed. Again, it's like if you can't express your ideas, then how can you exist? A lot of you could have, if you're an air sign especially, and you're being censored. Air signs do not like to be censored in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't matter. And even Mercury in an air sign, same thing. You need something where you are heard, where communication is freely expressed, and something where some vocation, some environment, even partners and friends where you can express yourself fully and freely without judgment. Or even if you are judged, at least the chance to explain and defend yourself. So definitely throat chakra ailments here that you are healing from. Oddly enough, I didn't feel anything in my throat chakra in this particular reading, letting me know that a lot of you have already like healed that. But usually when I get messages like this, like my throat will feel closed or scratchy or itchy, or just, you know, I'll be coughing and stuff. So a lot of you've healed the throat chakra. Also notice the blue in these cards, which typically are associated with the throat chakra, communication in general. We have, oh yeah, lies and deception, not surprised, because I feel like in the past you got used to being, if not deceitful, if not, you know, used to, oh gosh, now I do feel something in my throat. That's weird. So a lot of you come from a particular environment where you were expected to keep things quiet, where you were expected to just not talk about things. And I'm not talking about classified information or even like personal and private information. I'm not talking about that at all, but it's kind of like you had to not tell the truth or bend the truth. It's like you couldn't be honest about how you felt, thought, or expressed yourself. Or even if you like, or even like, for example, the information you had to give other people had to be, oh, I don't like this energy at all. It's like you had to word it in a way. It's like talking in code. And I feel like some of you got tired of talking in code when all you wanted to say was exactly what you meant, the way you want to say it. And you didn't want to be hindered or censored. I keep getting a lot of that for some of you. Especially if you have like a vocation or something where you express yourself, you're getting into something that allows you to express yourself more clearly. So for example, if you were censored a lot on a particular platform, you may find more success in one that doesn't, because now you can express yourself freely without the fear of being, for example, demonetized or I almost said demonized as well. So maybe some of you, it could be more of a judgment energy. Lovers, speaking of censorship, where's will this cover both of them? Yeah. We have the Lovers, Death reversed. Something, one particular person or thing, or like something was keeping you tied to this and kind of prevented you from healing. For some of you, it could literally have been like a partnership, either a business partnership or a romantic partnership. And for some of you, this healing could be from a past relationship as well. If you were in a relationship where you couldn't really speak how you felt. And I know that exists, unfortunately, a lot, where people can be in a relationship with somebody that they even care very deeply for, but they felt very repressed emotionally within that relationship. We have the King of Wands reversed. A lot of you, I'll be honest, a lot of you are breaking free of narcissistic patterns, because the King of Wands reversed, the Six of Pentacles reversed, and even the Lovers. The Lovers sometimes makes me think of the Devil card, because they're very similar. The only difference is, instead of this angel blessing a union, it'll be a devil like chaining up the two people in union, for better or worse. So for some of you, it could be breaking free from a relationship that otherwise was fine, but it was keeping you, it made you play small, and maybe you started seeing patterns of narcissistic tendencies within that relationship, even though I don't think either of you could be narcissistic. Or maybe you both had, like, for example, narcissistic families or parents, or, you know, tendencies, and those were kind of being emphasized, or what's the word? Magnetized? No. They were being blown up within the connection, even though neither of you really had that tendency. It's like neither of you were narcissists at all, but because you both came from that kind of background, it kind of amplified those tendencies and it blew it up, which is really interesting. Take that only if it resonates. I know that's not everybody, but for a lot of you, you're healing from that. So if you are healing from this particular ex or particular relationship, for some of you, you could still be within this connection and you're deciding to mend that particular issue that you may have within the connection. But I do feel like you're healing from something that was keeping you very hindered, very blocked. There's also a lot of strong masculine energy within this connection. So either you could identify as masculine, or you could be healing from a particular side of masculine energy, which I do see in people where, like, maybe you've had partners, if you're into men especially, that were not great to you, but of course you still love men, but it's like you fear that side, and maybe you're healing that. Take that only if it resonates, only because I see it here. We also have Justice reversed, and for a lot of you, you're kind of healing from this lack of what's the word? You felt like you had no control, and now you're stepping into having control. Hence why you feel a little empty. Hence why you feel like a former shell of yourself, because you're not used to taking control of the wheel. It's like if you're used to riding in a vehicle, but you're never the driver. You're just kind of sitting there. And you're used to being taken along for the ride, going here, going there, but never choosing where to go. It's like you're suddenly in the driver's seat and you get to decide where to go. And it can be scary, but it can also be exhilarating and exciting as well. So I feel like for a lot of you, you're taking back control of your own destiny, of your own life, regardless of what it is that you left behind, which I feel is very beautiful. So that is what you're healing from, pile 3. Let's go ahead and get your closing card, your advice card. Yeah, I was definitely speaking slowly because I think this is my longest reading, even though I feel like I said just as much as I did in the others. Okay, pile 3. Rest. I take a step away from my stress, and then a deep breath, and then a crankiness killing nap. When I get the rest I need, I instantly become a better version of myself, able to navigate complex relationships in a single bound. When I don't, I'm not, which means I shouldn't, but I tried to, and then we can't, and it doesn't, so I did, so it wasn't. Ugh, good night. Yeah, for a lot of you, you might need a little bit more sleep than usual, because like I said, you're in a new body, you're in a new era of your life, so take care of this new person that you are becoming, and everything else will sort itself out. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 4. If you chose the selenite heart, then we have a reading here for you about what you are healing from and what it will open for you. Where will your healing take you? We're going to start with the oracles to get a view of what you're healing from, and then we're going to get into the tarot to see more specifically where it's leading you. So already. I can kind of tell this is my pile of people who either you get tired very easily or you've become tired more increasingly so lately, which I kind of get. As of the time of recording this, the energy is kind of very dramatically or intensely in flux. Like I've been feeling it every day, which is really interesting. So if you're healing, you could be healing from that itself, or that itself could be helping you in the healing process. So let's get started with the cards you chose. You have bird, number 3, bird. And then your oracles are right here. We have Amen no Uzume, movement. Interesting. It's like a bird flying south for the winter or north for the summer, whatever the birds do. Migration for sure. Some of you could literally be doing this if you already live in different parts of the world at different times of the year. But this could also be listening to your body, which is always interesting that animals migrate, because it's like, how do they know? I mean, I guess with the weather patterns for sure, but it's like, how do they know where to go? So some of you could really be listening to your intuition, specifically your bodily intuition with movement here. We also have Ingus, which is it's a rune of embracing yourself, embracing others, and fertility as well. We have, who cares if we become nothing? We were all once nothing. Oh, I like that. Who cares if we become nothing? We were all once nothing. We have space. Yeah, some of you could be seeking space, or even like a different space. For example, seeking environment, or seeking, I almost said refuge, but it could also just be wanting to be in a space that makes sense to you. We have the dark mysteries. Enter the chamber of the dark goddess. And goddess of 10,000 names, Isis, endless emanation of the priestess. I love this energy, first and foremost. I do want to read from the booklet for the bird, though, because there's a lot of ways you could take that, and I want to do it justice, just in case I'm overlooking something. The bird whispers secrets, signs, messengers, information, and fears. What I love about this energy is that you're choosing what you want to do and who you want to be by following that which feels right, by following that which makes sense to you. And what making sense means to you doesn't have to be what makes sense to everybody else. But here you are choosing your own path. You're listening to your intuition, if not your body, or both of them. But it's definitely wanting to dive headfirst into something new and seeking space. This could be my pile of people who are very carefree, or who enjoy, I don't even know if there's a word for this, to just go where the wind takes you. It feels like the energy itself feels Sagittarian in nature, maybe Gemini, but it's basically doing what you feel like because it feels right, even if it doesn't make sense to anybody else. That's why you are, quote, quote, the goddess of 10,000 names here, because you could be 10,000 things at once and still be the same person. From the booklet for Ingus, we go within and find renewal, seed creation, fertility, and gathering energy. Interesting. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is one way that you renew yourself, is by seeking space from everyone and then coming back to yourself. It's like finding home within yourself. I'm hearing that song by, I think it's a Beach House, Fall Back Into Space. This song is literally called Space Song. Maybe that's why this card came through. Beautiful song, by the way. But yeah, a lot of you, you're seeking refuge within yourself. It's like, where does the body tell you? What does the body tell you to do? Where does it tell you to go? You go there and you find yourself. With Ingus, because it can also be, again, a card of fertility and even like embracing each other in relationships. This could be finding refuge within a person. And even, you know what, that would make sense with this card. Who cares if we become nothing? We were all once nothing. This would even be like deciding to, I mean, I'm not suggesting that you take a fling here, but if your soul is calling to like want to be with someone and you want to, and it feels right, and you both are like okay with this could be finding refuge within somebody who understands you. This would be a very, very spiritual connection, though. I do have to stress that. Not only that, but if, you know, romance is not your thing and if that's not what you care about at this moment, then that's fine. But for some of you, the healing process could involve somebody that kind of reflects back to you something that you are or that you can create something with, or maybe the both cases here. But take that only if it resonates. Very, very dreamy energy, because out of all the piles, this one really has me like up in the crown space, which is really interesting. It's almost like I'm channeling without without knowing how to speak what I'm feeling into words, into human words. But with that said, let's go ahead and go into the tarot, because I'm really excited for whatever this is. Though I'll be honest, the whole notion of healing through a person doesn't have to resonate. I don't think there's a person that needs to be involved. If that wasn't resonating with you, do not take that. This is only for those of you who know that you have somebody for this and you know you can do this with. That would be, if you know, you know. Like if you're already there, then you understand. If you don't, that doesn't mean you have to go seek somebody for your healing. That's not what I'm saying at all. Just making sure that that particular message doesn't get misconstrued. So with that said, pile 4. Yeah, this pile, you have me so spacey right now. It's kind of weird. I feel lightheaded, but I know I'm not, because I've eaten well. I've had enough rest. We have the 3 of Pentacles reversed. We have the 6 of Swords reversed as well. And the 7 of Wands reversed. Interesting. It's like the only way you can put up with something is if you take space from it right now. Particularly when it comes to either work, the mundane, or even, for some of you, it could be like your family or relationships or something. It's like in order for this to work, you have to take space and go find something that makes sense to you. And I see this a lot. Like, I know some couples are like this, where they take some time apart. Not that they break up or anything. It's just that they take time apart to find themselves. Or even like in groups of friends. It's like you do your own thing for a while, then you come back to the friend group. Queen of Cups, yeah. There's like an emotional... it's an emotional nurturing that you need to tend to. It's like you have emotional needs. And again, they don't make sense to anybody else but you have to take care of them. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're kind of used to this isolation. You're used to this period of time where you listen to yourself and you go inward. Basically, it's seeking isolation to heal. Knight of Cups. God. Like I said, for some of you, it could involve a person. It doesn't have to, though. If it's not involving another person, this is you pursuing your passions. So, for example, I've done this before where I just feel like I need to take a break from what I've got going on, and I'll like do a deep dive into a particular hobby, or I'll pick up a new hobby, or I'll start picking up a particular habit, like, I don't know, hiking, or I think at one point I tried running, but I didn't like running. For sport, for exercise. So it's kind of like that. It's like you have to go pursue your passion. I see, for example, celebrities do this a lot. Like they'll take a break from their family life and they'll, write an album, start a movie, start a bunch of projects, or they will go do a bunch of things that are part of their calling, part of their profession, because they felt a need to. And I feel like a lot of you are doing the same. We have Temperance reversed. Yeah, because things have become imbalanced and you need to tend to a part of yourself that is like calling out to do something. So especially those of you who are very creative naturally and instinctually, and you haven't done anything creative in a while, this is you hermiting up yourself in like a little house in the middle of the woods to go do your artwork. So it's giving that. King of Swords, yeah. For your peace of mind, because this is one way that you remain sane. I'll be honest, this kind of feels like, remember back in 2020 when everybody just kept inside and did a bunch of hobbies? This is what it feels like. But for you, pile 4, this is something that happens every so often, maybe every year, every few years, so that you can create something here. And a lot of you, you're going to find a muse. Strength reverse. For some of you, this is how you overcome certain struggles in life, is throwing yourself into your work, into your passions, into that which is calling to you. King of Pentacles. Oddly enough, this time around, you might actually make money off of it, or it could bring some sort of stability that you've been needing. Definitely your inner stability, your emotional stability, especially with the King of Pentacles under the Queen of Cups. Always love to see the Queen on top here. But still, I feel like for a lot of you, it's bringing in something fruitful. And yeah, the Four of Swords reversed. For a lot of you, you could be dreaming about this and it's like, okay, I want to see this dream into a reality. Interesting. We have the Hierophant, and it's not a karmic lesson. It's more like passing down tradition. For some of you, your hobby or your passion could be inherited traditionally. Like maybe it's something that your family did, or it could be like a line of work from your family. For others of you, this could be, I mean, I have seen this where like certain traditions are passed. For example, me and my sister Michelle, we both love to work with yarn. She crochets, I used to knit. And if you look back at where our people are from in Mexico, we love to do textiles. So that makes sense. Like somewhere down in our family, we were artisans, we created with our hands, and we still do, just in a different way now. So it's kind of giving that energy. But for others of you, this could also be passing down some sort of tradition or something very... Maybe for some of you, you may not even know this is a tradition for... yeah, because I'm trying to... The Hierophant is giving me a lot of messages. But you learn through this. Whatever this is, you learn through it. We have the Ten of Cups reversed, the Queen of Wands reversed. For a lot of you, this could be an escape from something. If there's a lot of drama in your family or friend group, part of the reason you escape is so that it can sort itself out. Especially because, I'll be honest, pile 4, if you're coming from a pile where I was telling them that they don't have to take on the baggage of other people, you might be here as well. Because when people have disputes, you don't have to come between it. You don't even have to... I'm not saying that you should abandon them. Of course, I'm not saying that at all. But it's for them to sort it out amongst themselves and for you to come back when they're ready to act right. Because I'll be honest, the way I've seen people try to pit people against each other or try to make them decide between, you know, this family or this friend and that friend, that's not fair to you. So what you will do instead is you're going to go off and do you. And if they've got their stuff resolved, you'll come back. And if not, you'll wait it out. So for some of you, this isn't running away and this isn't abandoning it. This is you deciding to do you. This is you deciding to take care of yourself so that you can come back as the person you've always known them as. And that's only going to be a select few of you, but I feel like some of you had to hear it. That's only fair. And also because it came through here with the Ten of Cups reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed, which is really interesting. But yeah, I can see the situation, this particular... Whatever you're healing from, it's actually not anything that has to do with you and more everything to do with the people around you and what they've put you through. It's like they created an environment that is almost intolerable. So of course you're going to go in within yourself and just do your own thing until they learn how to act right. There was a book. You can skip over this part. When I was in kindergarten or preschool, very young, or first grade, there was this book that my teacher showed us, and it was about a mom who would come home after working to her sons and her husband, and they were seen as like very, very messy, very dirty. They wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't help her clean or cook or anything. So one day she decided that she was going to go off and just leave the house. She's like, yeah, I'm going to leave. I don't know when I'll be back, but I'm going to leave. And she left. It's wild that this was in a children's book. This was literally a book for like first graders, which is roughly like 6 to 7 years old. And so then the dad and the kids literally, I think they became pigs. They literally became pigs because they lived in a quote, quote, pigsty because it was always messy. Or they learned how to take care of themselves and clean and cook and they did everything. And then the mom came back, which I'll never understand how that became a children's book, but it definitely taught, a lesson that if you take the person who does a lot of stuff for you for granted, they will leave and only come back when you start acting right. And I feel like that's you. You're the mom in that book here, pile 4. You're like, okay, you guys are doing some nonsense. I'm going to leave. I'm going to do me. You do you. And I'll be back when you guys are good. Because it's not your responsibility to heal anybody or to play mediator or lawyer or whatever it is that you're playing between a bunch of people. That's only fair. So, yeah. I hope that made sense, pile 4, because a lot of you've taken on far too much from other people. So, with that said, let's move on to your closing card. Also, yeah, if you're tired, it's probably not you and it's probably everybody else around you. And somehow, like I said, for a select few of you, something romantic is involved here. Maybe you like to run away with your partner. It's like, hey, let's just go here and forget about this. Ownership. I take ownership for how I make others feel, and I do my part to repair any bridges I might have burned or perhaps even lightly singed. If bridge mending feels impossible, then I can start small. Instead of becoming a bridge architect, maybe I'll just skip the bridge and walk the long way around. Taking ownership is great for burning calories. So yeah, this is you taking ownership, not just of mending bridges with other people, but making sure that you yourself are still intact after that bridge is burned or even after that bridge has exploded in some cases. Take care of you and everything else will take care of itself, pile 4. But this is where I leave it. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care.